Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to another DAYZ Myths, the show where I basically just do a bunch of random stuff on a offline mode on PC to show you the myths, the truths, and just a bit of testing of what's going on in DAYZ for everyone, so you know whether or not you can survive a fall from a building like this, or whether or not you'll go splat. Also, what's going on with splints and breaking your legs? It was a feature that used to be in DAYZ. Is it in the game now? Can you actually help yourself if you fall from great height? And parkouring. You see me doing my jumps of wonderment here, but what are the chances of climbing being added to the game, much like some other survival games or battle royals that you may have seen recently? Can DAYZ live with modern times and add ledge hanging? Are we going to be able to start busting through like with Jason Statham in an action movie? Well, maybe we won't have all the answers today, but we're going to try and find out. I am JPG. If you like DAYZ content, take a look at this silly, irrelevant video and make sure you give it a like. Let's go. So whenever you fall from a height in DAYZ, not only do you risk obviously killing yourself outright, but you can also knock yourself unconscious and you can cause yourself a huge amount of health damage. You can see in the top right hand side I've got the indicators that show exactly how much damage I take every time I land, and we're going to just literally test every single height so you guys know in a pinch whether or not you'll be able to escape a certain situation by jumping off a roof or maybe even jumping through a window to get one up against other players, or simply just to get out of the way of loads of zombies. So we've got a lovely apartment block here. This can be yours for only 2 billion rupees, rubles, euro, pounds, dollars. It's all the same price no matter where you're from. You're getting a bad deal. You can actually jump through a lot of these windows, and this is something pretty new to me because I've never really attempted it, but with a little bit of maneuvering you can see you can go through and start being the parkour action hero of your dreams. So pretty simple. I survived that. It's literally only half a level. Not really much health has come off, but what about the first floor? How much health am I going to start losing now? Make sure you're always wearing safety goggles in case of shattering glass, and away we go. No, it does take a little bit of shimmying, it does take a little bit of element of luck. It may be just down to the really crap hitboxes, but there we go, we made it through. Here you can see we've got around 77 health left, so it's taken around 23. Other times it's been around 25. Now of course the big factor is that you won't have this count on Xbox or PlayStation on servers. You can't see decimally exactly how much health you have, so you've got to presume you are at full health. If you've been encountering a zombie, or maybe you've been into a firefight and you took a shot, obviously if you jump from this height it's going to be different, but between 20 and 25 health from a first floor drop. I also wanted to take a quick look at some of the medicinal items that you can use, whether or not they will heal you any quicker. And I know this is a fact, nothing heals you your health measurement much quicker. It'll only replenish your blood, but there is nothing directly that will make your health suddenly go boosting up. You just need to make sure you're well fed and you've got plenty of water. That will increase your blood levels, and then that will obviously increase your health. Even these sticks that you can inject yourself with don't do anything to your health, so if you do sustain a massive fall, don't be thinking popping one of these bad boys is going to instantly replenish it all the way to the top. They don't, they'll only actually help you in certain situations. I'm going to be doing a much more detailed guide on health, shock, blood, everything that affects your well-being in DAYZ, giving you plenty of examples, so look at that video. Anywho, let's carry on my lovely fall into the ground. Alrighty, floor 2, we're about to go through the window, let's do it. We're getting a bit more of a run up, and I do believe the more you jump further it can cause a little bit more downward thrust, so you are going to lose a few more points if you're either just falling or you are taking a leap in the air. Like I said, it's a little bit tricky getting through these windows, it's a little bit buggy how they're meant to be. I really hope that one day they make it that all windows can be climbed through that are moderately sized, rather than some of them only being available like in these block of flats. But don't worry, if you want to test this out, keep doing it and eventually you'll make it through like that. So we're getting into dangerous territory now. You can see that actually cost me 55 amount of health. On an average, it's going to lose half your health falling from a height that's 2 stories high. I took one more leap, and this time I'd only got up to about 68 health before going through, and again it brought me all the way down to 14 health. You can see my red cross is flashing angrily, and I was very close to actually losing consciousness. Right, we're on level 3 now, and I'm just making sure, like I said, I've got rid of that glass. Don't want to get any nasty cuts as you're falling through the air. Can you imagine if someone was doing this just in your building block, just like testing stuff out? There you go, I've gone unconscious. That is exactly how much health you lose, a huge amount by jumping off the 3rd floor, but you will survive. You've only got about 25, 26 health left, so it takes about 3/4, and that's a pretty good rule of thumb. 1 level, you're going to lose 1/4, 2 levels, you're going to lose half, 3 levels, you're going to lose 3/4. So you need IQ 2000 to understand that that's a pretty good rule to actually go by. You'll more than likely survive the fall, and after a little while be able to get back up, hopefully. You're going to be limping around, of course, and you won't be able to do any jumping until your health has gone up a considerable amount. So can you guess what's going to happen right now? Yeah. You die. Of course you bloody die. I think most people would assume you would die falling out of a 4-story tower block, but who knows? Looking more like a clickbait article you see on the bottom of your mum's Facebook, this is the true story of a brother that managed to survive a 47-story fall from a New York skyscraper. Sadly, Alcides Moreno's brother didn't survive. Can we get an F in comment section for his brother? The pair window washers fell from the 500-story tall building in 2008, where it instantly killed his brother. The death rate of a 3-story fall is around 50%. People who fall more than 10 stories almost never survive, and the window washer fell more than 4 times that height. He broke both his legs, his right arm and wrist, had several injuries in his chest, abdomen and spinal column, and almost every part of him was bleeding. But doctors were able to piece his body back together again, one operation at a time. Man, I bet he watched YouTube a lot. So it's pretty interesting at the moment that if you take a fall damage, your blood level doesn't go down. In previous versions of DAYZ, and this is what inspired this episode of Myth, you could actually break your bones, you could break your legs, and the only way to help heal would be to craft a splint, or it would do it a lot quicker. No idea if that feature's ever set to return. Probably yes, I'm guessing, but the rate that the devs actually finish this game, it'll probably be around 2050 when we're all taking calcium supplements for our dodgy bones. I decided to finish this off by testing if it helps if you've got other things on, maybe not carrying so much weight, and it doesn't really seem to have that much of an impact. You may have like 1 health, possibly 2 health lower, but on average it's exactly the same whether or not you're carrying a big massive backpack, wearing lots of different shoes or different armours, or not wearing any shoes or any armours. It's going to be about the same amount of health loss. So that's how far you can fall, but what about how far you can jump? I didn't really do a very good job here, but let's test a few things out and see if we can be the parkour champions that we should be. People got really super excited when the devs announced they were going to be adding parkour to the game. You thought maybe this is it, I'll be able to free wall up walls, do some hanging jumps, all sorts of stuff. If you ooh and ah while playing Apex Legends, sliding around on the walls like you're Spider-Man, think of fault for the DayZ devs. They can't even get a basic system in the game like PUBG's vaulting system, which has just added wall hanging and wall climbing from ledges. I'm not ragging on the devs, it must be really hard to add something to a framework that's pretty old, but nevertheless I think a lot of players would love to see some more animations and ways that you can get over fences without having to plan your jump 30 feet in advance. They did have a mild version in the old DayZ where you could literally just walk over a fence and you wouldn't have to do any sort of run up, but it looks like they removed that a while ago. So now we're left with this, jumping around like a loon and praying that you survive. So trying to get across or gauge distances can be pretty tricky, but rule of thumb is if you are not higher than a ledge you're trying to jump, the chances you making more than 3 or 4 feet are going to be very slim indeed. Even when you've got a height advantage, the chances you getting across more than 10 feet are very slim, although it does seem to propel you a little bit more forward when you go through windows, as you saw earlier on. But look at this one, I just can't simply get across it. I'm so sorry if I've cancelled your dreams of being a friendly neighbourhood survivor, but you just simply can't really jump that far in DayZ. Even with any backpacks off, you're going to struggle to get across even the most basic of gaps. So fingers crossed we see a return of splints to the game and actual mechanics where you can break your leg, and depending on what gear you've got on you, it may be able to help you survive a bit longer, and we do get some climbing added to the game too. It'd be really cool as well to have more dynamic buildings that have lots of open windows that you can go through, or maybe even just busting doors and windows open. If you think I've got anything wrong, let me know in the comment section and keep me going with ideas for myths. Like I said, I'm going to be taking a look at health items. In fact, the next one's going to be taking a look at every single health item in the game, how it affects you, what your blood levels are, what your blood types mean, pretty much explaining all the ways that you can heal yourself and just basically staying alive a little bit longer in Chernarus. Don't forget to like this video if you find it useful, and make sure you put F in chat for Marino's brother. I will see you rat bags for another DAYZ myth very soon.